colleagues, the topic of today's presentation is the methodological and didactical aspects of greening of educational process towards sustainable university. And we will analyze it on the case study of Ukrainian National Forestry University, which not only have green campus but is really advancing this idea in Ukraine and international scale. Our aim is sustainable university, and it requires comprehensive integration of the sustainable development principle in the whole field of activity, and its management, educational process, cooperation with stakeholders at local and national level, and also taking into account international initiative of education for sustainable development. It's a process of transformation, and in this process, institutions should evolve as a dynamic laboratories of social innovation. And also, we should take into account success stories on which we have achieved the greatest success in the field of transition to sustainability around. And this process begins from defining sustainability, its indicators, changing technologies, policies, taking into account resources we have for it, making information companies and other. And educational networks which exist internationally are very helpful in this process. You can see some of them on the list, like Baltic University Program or Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education and others. And the participation in such networks influence also the content curriculum. For example, the Sustainable Development course we teach in the framework of the Baltic University program. And it's available online, and the content is the same for many universities which teach it. And a university, of course, can add some specific features, but the basic content is the same, and there are a lot of good materials which are very useful, and it's very attractive for students of many specialities. It's taught in English. Also, some initiatives of the Ukrainian National Forestry University are advanced at international level. For example, at the conference Rio+20, Ukraine had a commitment of the greening of education, and this commitment was based on the initiative of the Ukrainian National Forestry University, which in the cooperation with International Institute Association of Regional Ecological Problems and Gandhi Institute for Ecological Economics from the University of Vermont and some environmental NGOs proposed this idea, commitment, and had a side event at the UN Rio+20 conference level. And this initiative at Rio+20 begins from 1980s when the Tempus Statis program initiated the new master program in ecological economics, which was very pioneering at this time generally, and which now is distributed to many universities in Ukraine. Also, these principles include promoting research in the field of sustainable development, developing green campuses, supporting the effort of local communities, and building cooperation on the exchange of the result of international networks. And also, these networks include green metric, which allow to evaluate our advancement, and also it allows communication with the processes supported by UNESCO, Rio Plus 20 and other processes. Here's the scale of your green metric agenda. Our university is first in Ukraine in this ranking, and what is really important that we are also first in research in this field and also in education, in changing our curricula, in developing new study program. Here are more details on the Ukrainian National Forestry University scores in the field of education. Also, our university takes part in system for tracking the movement towards sustainability stars, but this system is more concentrated in North America. We are more in the status of the observation to this process. Even we are the only university in Ukraine which is taking part in this program. We also have careful attention to all aspects of the greening of our activities, and of course taking special attention for curriculum and research. And we propose such definition of the greening of education as a process of saturation of educational programs for training specialists in all the fields of knowledge with environmental requirements, understanding the causal relationships between human activities and the environmental consequences of these activities. And we were trying to advance our activity at national level in Ukraine. So, together with National Technical University of Ukraine, Kyiv Polytechnic Institute, we initiated the discussion on this issue at the level of the Board of Ministry of Education, and in 2015 even it was a decision of the Ministry on greening of higher education in Ukraine in order to train specialists for sustainable development. And this document actually identifies our experience and recommend to be used in other institutions at all levels of education. And why it has comprehensive character? Because it's about all levels, from primary to higher school to university level, to all levels of education. And this slide is very important as it describe the what things are going on in the implementing concept of green education at curriculum level. It means, first of all, developing the study programs fully attend to the training specialists in sustainability, like mentioned earlier program. It's comprehensive greening of all courses which are taught at the university, include every course, we mean in this case, and teaching of special courses with sustainability-based worldview, like ecological economics, sustainable development, philosophy of sustainable development, some courses with instrumental knowledge, and courses which give practical skill for solving environmental problems and designing sustainability decision. So we are talking about getting new knowledge, new understanding, new skills, and integrity and ability. And based on our logo motto at Naturum Vivere Distimus, we are trying to take into account all possible ecological boomerang effects and to have preventive. And the ecological competence, one of the competences which is included in sustainability transformative work of building new programs. And many activities took part during even last years at university. It's a workshops, seminars, conferences, and also there are practical part of the greening of curricula, and it's includes also implementing close to nature forestry principles. Example, and these principles are implemented in particular in Ukrainian Carpathians, which used as natural model for close to nature forestry, and many practitioners and students from Germany, Switzerland, and other countries took part in field studies and internships, which allow them to get new knowledge and to change the vision of forestry with completely different vision. And to conclude, we see the greening of education as a prerequisite for transitioning to greening economy, to designing socially responsible economy also, and formation of society with sustainability-based ethics, value, worldview, and behavior. Only this will allow us to achieve sustainable development goals. And this slide actually shows this process of transition to sustainable society, from greening of education to economy, to building ecological economics, achieving sustainable development goals, and society with new thinking and behavior. Thank you for your attention.